Ryan Evans has written in and says, "Hey Dutch, when you wrestled, how much money a month did you get from merchandise?" I heard this is sort of a merch question. This is WWE. For merch, they make only something, something, something. Anyway, doesn't matter. We've talked about WWE stuff, merch related to anyway. Why don't we talk about Memphis, Smokey, other places as well? How much would you make for a photo profit and any other merchandise that you sold as pretty much an independent in that sense?
Back in those days, I didn't sell anything in Smoky Mountain because I didn't make their house shows. So you can't take a photo if you're not there. So, but Memphis, I was there. Memphis, I probably had some of my best merch days. I'd have, if I had a $500 day, that was a great day. Or any day that you pick up $150, $200. That's just extra. That's like somebody coming up to you and says, "Hey, I got $200 I don't need. Here's yours." And you put it out there, and if the people buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't. It is free enterprise at its finest. If they want it, they buy it. If they don't, and it wasn't that expensive. I remember this is how old I am. We used to sell a little 8x10 or maybe a little smaller photograph for $1. And finally I said, that's too friggin' cheap. We need to go up. So I went up to $2. And everybody said, oh man, shouldn't have gone up to $2. Shouldn't have gone up to, well, I sold the same amount. And the next day, guess what all the other prices were? $2. So I jacked them up almost 100% pay raise, and nobody didn't complain. And they just kept selling. But my best merch days were the ones that we could go out and actually what we call work the table. If you work the table, talk to the people, sign their picture, they'd buy it. But for them just buying a picture, but see, now they don't have to buy a picture. They can just go on the internet and just print it off.
Well, did you sign the photos, or did you have like a special price for signed photos?
No, it was the same. $5 unsigned, $5 signed. So if I was out there, say a guy's name was Bill, I said, "How you want this signed?" To Bill, or he wanted to give it to his wife, say to Beverly. And I'd sign it to Beverly. Best wishes, Dirty Dutch. So, and he'd go back and he'd present it to her, and they had a memento forever.
In the Memphis days, what was the best selling photo of you? Do you remember like the pose you were striking, who took the photo, that kind of thing?
Well, Cornette took most of them. Cornette would come to Louisville early in the days of Memphis wrestling, and he was involved in wrestling. He was involved in photography. I'm sorry. And somehow he mentioned that to Teeny Jarrett, and Teeny Jarrett was Jerry Jarrett's mother. She promoted the town, and she promoted Evansville and Nashville. So he presented himself to her as a photographer, and he got in the back. That's how he got access to the wrestlers. That's how he actually broke into the business. And I think when he finally, Jerry Jarrett broke him in as an on-screen character, as Jim Cornette, and he had a great story. His family had money. He was from Louisville. You know, his daddy was passed away, and, you know, they had all this money. It was old school money, and got him in the business, and it worked for him because I know a couple of guys that used to travel with Cornette. Cornette had a ton of heat because Cornette is the type that gets heat anyway. Because if you met him on the street and talked to him a little bit and he played the character on you, you'd want to kill him. Because he was always looking down at people that he was no more above than anybody else, but he was looking down on them. And they took that as an affront. And And he used that his whole career, and it worked for him.
Aside from photos, what else did you sell at the gimmick table yourself?
Oh, T-shirts, basically, pictures mostly, because it was easier. I sold pictures and I sold a few T-shirts, not that many, but, and I don't know what else I sold. I think it was pictures mostly.
I don't know
Because
how long.
we, the wrestlers, got access to it right away.
Yeah.
Now, I have had the promotion sell their pictures, and I would get, like, every quarterly, I would get cash money. Oh, I'd get like $1,000 or $1,200, but that was like 12 weeks. See what I mean? So that meant, and I always said, like, wait a minute, I'm only selling, like, I was trying to figure 100 pictures a week in 1, 2, 3, 4 towns. I said, I got to be selling more than that. But I never questioned it. I just went along with it, because it was easier sometimes to go along with it than to question it. So, and it was free money anyway. It's like somebody just come up and give me $1,200.